Hello, my little birdies, and welcome to Be Understood Branding and my podcast, which is not really a podcast, but is just me reading my twice monthly newsletter with tips and tricks for building a brand that people love. I am Maggie Bergen. I am the owner of Be Understood Branding in Chicago. If this is your first time listening to the sound of my voice, hello. I'm so glad you're here. In this newsletter, we talk about brands, how they're shaped, and I give you advice about how you can build your own distinct, irresistible brand. Let's get into it. It is mid-March, and I have a question for you. Are the daffodils daffodillying where you are? That is a very silly question, and as silly as I can be on this audio recording sometimes. Today, I actually want to ask you what I think is an important question and what I actually think is the most important question that brands like yours should be able to answer. And if you sell a product or a service, you are a brand. And I use the word brand as a shortcut to describe people who sell either a service or a product or an idea. You could be selling an idea and be a brand as well. So, this is what I think the most important question that brands should be able to answer well. Here it is. What is the impact of the work you do? What is the impact of your work? Some people call this question an elevator speech. Some call it an intro or introduction. You could call it kind of an above the fold statement. Whatever you call it, it explains how you help clients. And this can be, usually it's just a couple sentences. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 sentences, but it can be one of the hardest 3 to 4 sentences you've ever written because every single word has to be right and tight, both of which take time. Both right and tight. One of the many money-generating outcomes of a brand strategy process is an answer to this question. It's a compelling introduction. What is the impact of your work? If you have completed a brand strategy with me or elsewhere, I guarantee you'll whip through your introduction like a warm spoon through a pint of Chunky Monkey. Trademark. Ben & Jerry's. If you don't feel like you have a good answer to that question, I want you to keep listening. And, I want you to keep listening anyway, whether you have a good answer or not. But the rest of this audio message is really for those of you who don't feel like you have a great answer to that question. And what a great answer is one that immediately is understood by people and gets their interest or appreciation. So that's what a great answer to that question is. I want you to keep listening if you feel like, oh man, I just haven't nailed that yet, because I have a specific exercise for you at the end. Here's where people use theirs. First of all, before we get into the exercise, my clients use their answer to that question everywhere. They use it to get attention on their website. They put it above the fold. They use it to help people understand them and connect with them in marketing content. I've seen people share it on stages in podcasts or interviews. I've heard them use it in speeches to connect with people. So it's really a really important question to answer for a bunch of reasons. Most introductions, unfortunately, that I hear include very little that's actually engaging to the folks that you want your brand to be engaged with, which is a shame because human brains are hardwired to connect, and connection is what accelerates folks actually hiring you. So here is the exercise. Question first. How does your brand currently introduce itself? How does your brand currently introduce itself? Okay, now the exercise. When you think about every introduction as an opportunity to connect, when you allow your introduction to convey your brand personality and what you know to be true about what you do, you will unlock unlimited growth. I want to offer an exercise for you to work on your introduction. So here's the exercise. If you could only use 3 words to introduce your brand, what would they be? If you could only use 3 words to introduce your brand, what would they be? If you are hearing the sound of my voice after clicking on the e-newsletter that you received, I'm giving away swag. My motto, Kick Vagueness in the Dick, is a beautiful illustration made for me by my designer, Susie Roselle in Austin, Texas. And I'm giving away a mug with my motto on it so that you can sip coffee or tea while pondering the idea of kicking vagueness in the dick. So if you go back to that e-newsletter and click on the link at the very bottom and email me your 3 words, you will be entered into a drawing to win the coolest mug in the world. I cannot wait to hear your answers. If you're like a random person who is hearing this and you want to send me your 3 words and you're not getting my e-newsletter, first of all, how did you find me? I really want to know that. Second, I want to hear what your 3 words are. What are the 3 words you would use to describe your brand? If you have an answer for me, email it to Maggie@maggiebergen.com. And I'll send you a mug because you're special. And I appreciate you. I think that's good, right? Is that good? If you heard any weird noises in the background, it's because I am practicing doing things imperfectly, and we are in the midst of a construction project. We found mold in my house. Wasn't that fun? So there's a little remediation and rebuilding going on, and I really, really wanted to get this done today. So even though there might have been like banging or sawing, which I heard, hopefully you didn't hear it. But if you did, I'm sorry. That's no fun. All right, that's all. I hope you had a great day, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon.